Yo, what is up guys? Welcome back to my how to rank up in 1v1 series. In today's video, we're going to be looking at how to get out of diamond and push into champ in 1v1s. Just for reference, you guys, we're going to be using a replay of some champ 1 players in 1v1s. Now, champ 1 is like, you know, it's either low champ 1, high diamond 3, that's kind of the same difference. But overall, if you're in like mid to high diamond or low champ, this is going to be the video for you. And we're going to talk about how to push into those C2, maybe even C3 ranks in 1s. And just how to, you know, push up the ranks. And hopefully here as the video progresses, I'll be giving lots of tips. And hopefully by the end of the video, you'll have a better understanding of how to play 1v1s better. And yeah, let's get right into it. Alright, you guys, so our characters for today are Derek's and Blazers. Now, Blazers does have his GC title, but as you guys are going to see in this replay, that's not going to mean jack anything. It really doesn't matter that he has a Grand Champ title. So for today's replay, we're just going to be focusing on Blazers, and I'm just going to go ahead and watch the replay here and give some tips. Alright, getting to the replay here, let's go ahead and look at Blazers kickoff. Solid. So in this example, guys, his kickoff is actually quite good. Like there's lots of good technique here with kickoff. B-flip, you know, is clean. He's lined up. He even has ample space behind the ball to jump. Like, this is pretty much perfect. The only thing really wrong with this kickoff, and I'll show you guys how you could do it a little bit better. Leading up to kickoff, perfect. All really good technique, good form, good. Now here, he flips straight to the middle of the ball. I'm gonna show you guys why that's not the most ideal thing to do here. Alright, so I want you guys to look here. So normally, if this was like 2v2 or 3v3, doing a kickoff where you flip just straight into the ball like this usually works out just fine. So if we look here from his POV again, you're going to notice he's going to do a front flip just straight in the middle, right? So gets to the middle, and then front flips straight on, like that. So normally, like I said, if this is another game mode, this would be just fine because you have teammates behind you. But because this is 1v1, we're not going to have anyone behind us to help us out here. So my advice to you guys here is when you go for the kickoff, I want you to like pick a side that you favor. So here in Blazer's case, it seems to me he's favoring a little bit more to the right side of the ball. So if we get to here, bang, bang, bang. He's a little bit, by the time he gets there, he's a little bit on the right side of the ball here, right? So what he should do, instead of doing just a straight on front flip in the middle, what he should do is come off to the side a little bit, off to the right side of the ball. Then he should do a front flip or quarter flip, like side flip type of thing, to the other boost right here. I'll show you guys what that looks like. So it goes here on the right side, and then you push the ball into this boost right here, over there. So the idea is, if you win the kickoff the way I showed you, which is you pick one side, goes off to the right here, and then he flips the ball to the left side, more than likely, if he gets a good recovery, he'll win this big boost up here. And that's going to give him a free air dribble, flip reset, whatever he wants to do. So just going back to his POV real quick. So right here, he should not be just doing some basic front flip. He should be doing like a quarter flip or side flip towards the left boost. That's where he should be going. But because he does the front flip, and his opponent, I believe, does something more like I was looking for here. Look here, right? There we go. That was more what I was looking for. It's kind of a give and take, but you see how Derek's here? He kind of does what I need him to do, is he goes to one side, right? So let's see where he goes. So he speed flips, and then he's more left center. So do you guys see here how he's more on the left side of the ball? So look straight on, like, so he's more to the left. And then what he's going to do, he's going to front flip or side flip to the right. See that? So front flip, push to the right, quarter flip to the right, like this, and he pushes it into that boost right here, right? So he doesn't have possession of the ball yet, but what we're going to notice is that he's going to have full advantage here to get the big boost here, right there, see? He just wins the boost. Now here he does kind of misplay. He doesn't really quite get full possession because he goes out of his way for boost. But most of the time here, if you do this, get up here, front flip, push it to your favorite side, right? Look at that. He's gonna win this boost every time if he needs it, right? This boost right here that is invisible because it's a glitch, he's gonna get it every single time because he's doing the kickoff the right way. So Blazers here has two options. He can either switch up his kickoff to a different one, or what he can do is in the middle of his kickoff, so look here, right? He could also just try and pay more attention to Derek's here, because a really big skill that gets overlooked is being able to watch your opponent mid kickoff. Okay, so as he's gonna go do the kickoff here, right? But you really need, like, I know it seems really trivial, but you need to be looking at Derek's name. You need to be looking and focusing on it really hard so that you can see where you think he's gonna go with the ball. If you're not adjusting mid kickoff here to your opponent, then you're failing to adapt to them. Whether you guys believe it or not, your opponent here, he's making little micro changes depending on where he thinks you're gonna land at the end of the 50, right? So if Derek's here thinks that you're more to one side of the ball, right, in this scenario, then he's gonna push it to the side that he think will favor him post kickoff, right? So if he does this, he's probably making this kickoff decision based off of where he saw you when this happened, right at this moment, right? So it's very like minor stuff, but it could be the difference of why you do or don't get the ball, right? So Derek does a good job reading Blazers kickoff here, right up here, reads them really good, gets a good touch, good front flip, wins the ball. So like I said, you can either pay more attention to the person that you're doing kickoff against during the kickoff, or if you want to, because it is kind of meta, you can also do a single jump kickoff. So this is what I'm going to call this, is a flip kickoff, because your method of 50ing the ball involves you using your car with a flip. See that? So he flips through the ball like that. But what you can do instead of using a flip is you can also instead do a single jump kickoff. So here you do the kickoff like this, good, but then you time a single jump in the middle of the ball. So a single jump kickoff works really well against a flip kickoff like this because it keeps you lower to the ground and gives you a better recovery, and usually does the same thing that you're trying to do, which is kill the ball in the middle. But it's really just the recovery and your ability to cover the ball with a single jump kickoff and the recovery you get out of it that can be more beneficial than just doing a flip kickoff. All in all, pretty much the criteria here of how you should do your kickoff: number one, always pay attention to your opponent during the kickoff. Number two, if you're going to do a flip kickoff, then it's usually more beneficial to, towards the end of this kickoff, pick a side that you favor and then flip towards the opposite side so that you can get a better redirect on the ball towards the boost, like Derek's did there. Or option number three, you don't opt for a flip kickoff like in Blazers' case, and you just instead trade it out for a single jump kickoff, because that's also another good option that could probably counter this option here. Just do a single jump kickoff. I'll see here in the editing process if I can sneak a single jump kickoff example for you guys. Alright, I apologize for the long rant about how to do kickoffs and ones. Kickoffs and ones honestly could be their own video if I'm being completely honest with you guys, because they are a really big part of the game mode. But anyways, let's continue here. So coming out of the kickoff here, Blazers gets an okay recovery, and that's why I was telling you guys, if you can do a single jump kickoff like most of the time, you're probably going to get better recovery than this, because the problem here now is Derek is going to win the boost, probably going to win possession here also. Not that he has much boost, but he is threatening a shot here, so Blazers really does need to be more proactive here in the play, and to be more proactive, it's usually better if you just stay on the ground. So instead of just preemptively flipping like this, right, that's not very good. So I prefer if we could just stay on the floor right about here and just pick up some pads. Take a normal route that you normally take to get back. Don't flip too much. If you need to flip, do it, but also just try and pick up pads while you're doing it. So maybe get a cheeky flip towards here, this pad, this, you know, just get some pads, because that's the only way you're going to be in the play at this point. But you're flipping down the middle of the lane where there is no boost. So there's boost over here, but you're missing all of it. No boost, no boost. You just keep missing every single boost. But like I'm showing here, if you lean yourself towards where the boost is, this diagonal route down here, so boost here, there, and here, then you can actually pick up some pads, right, and still be in a defensive position here to be ready for a shot, right? Or let's say you get to here, you get this pad, then this pad, and then you turn it, right? But this random flipping in the middle of the field, missing all the pads, and then going all the way back to your goal line, that's really, really poor. Just wanted to run back here to where the kickoff just ended. So here, he has 12 boosts. I know it might seem like really trivial, but look, I just want you to notice how he just burns it, right? So this is just like a boost management tip. Unless you absolutely need to use boost, you shouldn't be using it. You should be saving up every penny, every 12 boosts that you can. But here you just kind of, boom, taps the boost, and then it's gone. So I get what he's trying to do here. He's trying to get more speed, but you should be saving boost for the most crucial parts of the game, because if you're not, you're gonna be left in the game with no boost, right? So I'd rather he have 12 boost here when he really needs it, like right here, than have 0. So that's just a small boost management tip. But here again, he's missing all the pads. He's not taking a good route to cover the ball here. And by cover, I mean take this mid lane right here, right? Because you pick up these two, this, and then you turn back in. Now you've got like 30 boost, right? And you have an attack on the ball here. Maybe even beat Derek to the ball. You don't know. So I just feel in this instance, keep your rotations tight, and then always make sure that you have a lineup for pads. Because if you don't have a lineup of pads and you take a longer route, a bigger circle around like this, not very tight, big circle, and you're gonna get left dusted to the ball here, right? Not good. And then your net is completely open because there's no behind you. Blazers is gonna go ahead, do this kickoff here. Derek does actually fake it, so that's a little bit tough. Kind of hard to read a fake unless you kind of know it was coming. I mean, especially this early on in the game. If someone fakes, then it's difficult to read it. But if you notice they're faking a lot, or they fake every here and there, then it's just something you have to watch out for. But not really a big deal. Yeah, you lose possession, but nothing you can't come out of clean. Okay, that's a really poor 50, right? So you're here, you're gonna challenge the ball. I need you to think here. If you challenge the ball here and it goes behind you, is there anyone covering the net? Because this is the thing about 1v1s, is unless you can manage to get a 50-50, right? So about here, so if you decide to 50-50 and it doesn't go in your favor, you have to make sure that once you get this 50-50 done, that you're able to catch up to the ball again. Because if you can't, then there's not gonna be anyone behind you. So in 1v1s, you're gonna be playing the whole field quite a lot, but this is an example where I feel like we shouldn't be challenging so hard, I guess, and just you're forcing yourself to have to chase back to your own side. So look, he's gonna get a big 50, not in his favor, so big pinch towards his side. Now what he has to do is he has to scramble back to his side of the field so that he can cover the shot. So here, in my opinion, I think he should just be a little bit more patient, try and keep the 50 lower to the ground in any way he can. If you challenge and you full commit all the way up to, on their side of the field, right, and that shoots all the way behind you, your net's just open. So it's just one of those things where you should really be picking and choosing your battles, your 50-50s here, and think, okay, if I'm gonna do it here, do I have a route back? Or is there any way I'll be able to cover my behind? Because if you can't cover behind you, then the answer is no, you shouldn't be, aggroing this or entertaining this challenge. But he does entertain the challenge, throws the ball behind him, right? Whether he meant to or not, doesn't matter. And then he has to throw himself in an awkward defensive position. Was in a good position back here, right? He's got the offense, he's got, a good angle to attack, whatever. So he gets to here. Now he has to throw himself into a defensive position, right? Because he's the only person who can defend. He has to play two people at once. He's playing the challenger here, and then he goes back. He's like, oh man, I wish I had a teammate behind me, but right, you don't have one. So now you're having to cover for two people, but except you're one person, right? So now you have to defend for yourself because you put yourself in that position. So basically, what I'm trying to say in short is Blazers has played himself by going for that challenge. You have put yourself in this position, and if you're not able to deal with it, then this is what's gonna happen. Put yourself in an awkward position, stuck in the middle, low momentum, get scored on. So what I'm trying to say with this is that if you play this scenario better or smarter, right, then you won't have to do as much work. But if you play this poorly and you do it wrong, then you're gonna put yourself and make yourself in a more awkward position, and you have to make yourself do more work. But again, if you play this scenario right here, you play this correctly, you get a better 50, or you just fake it, or do anything to get the ball in your possession that doesn't put you in such a bad position to defend or whatever. This scenario right here that pops up won't exist. It won't even need to happen because you won't let it happen, right? But because you're not thinking about your 50s, you're generating circumstances that are not in your favor, right? But it all depends on this right here. So however you play this scenario is going to set you up for the future. But if you don't set yourself up for the future, you mess up, right? Then that's on you. In the next kickoff, Blazers does kickoff again, and Derek does fake it again. Watch for patterns. I think that's another big thing that maybe gets overlooked is just patterns, right? Because if you see your opponents do the same thing, or they have a certain way of playing that they like to favor, so maybe they dribble the ball a lot, maybe they slow the ball down quite a bit. Just find any patterns that you notice and then just work with those patterns and try and adapt. 1v1s is a unique game mode where you have to adapt your opponent to each individual opponent that you come against, because every 1v1 is vastly different from the one before it or after it, because every player is a little bit different and has a different play style, different preferences. Some fake a lot, some don't fake at all, some just only single jump, some delay their kickoffs. It's all different depending on who you're going against. A key thing to getting better at ones is literally just paying attention to your opponent, right? Your opponent is more of a threat to you than the ball is, right? So if you can adapt to your opponent, then you have a better chance of winning. Derek's is faking a lot here, so Blazers should be keeping note of that now. 30 seconds of the game, he's already faked twice, so he should be thinking about that and like, okay, this person likes to fake a lot, so use that information to your advantage. Okay, so right here, Blazers does the kickoff, he gets faked, so already not like a good start, but then he decides to overcommit himself even more, and he goes for a demo. So here's the thing, you've already lost the ball, and if you don't play this right, you don't get a demo, you're awkward by the end of all this, then it's gonna be bad, because not only have you overcommitted yourself by giving him the ball, but you're also overcommitting by trying to go for a demo here. So could this demo work? Sure, it could, but you gotta think about, well, what if I don't get the demo? Where does that put me? And here, it puts you in a terrible position, right? Because now you've got no boost, no momentum, and dude's got a free dribble on your net. Like, it's really not that good. So in my opinion here, it's just better to kind of cut your losses, probably go for the mid boost behind you to the left over here, right? Versus going all the way out of your way for a demo, missing it, and then having no boost, no momentum, and then just get a free ball. Like, I don't really prefer that. Another problem we have here is he's also on the same side as his opponent, goes to go for a demo. This is the demo, whatever. But positionally wise, this is where he is, okay? So this is where Blazers is, and Dark is. So Dark is in the same lane as Blazer. There's Derek's, that's Blazer, right? So they're on the same, lane, pushing down this way, right? They're on the same lane. But if Blazer wants to be in a better position here after the demo attempt, then he needs to move up and out down here and then move himself to the opposite side of Derek's. So he should be over here, right? He should be on the left side, because if you can separate yourself from Derek's here, so Derek's being on the right and you're on the left, somewhere here down the middle, then you're gonna have a much better angle to attack this from. He throws the ball up like that, that's gonna be really good to challenge. But when again you are on the same side as your opponent, same push lane, same attack lane, like this, right? It's really, really awkward to try and challenge this. You don't really have a good angle, and you're not going to get one until you move around. But if you don't move around and you're stuck behind them or in front of them in the same lane, right? You know, this is really awkward to challenge. Like, yeah, he gets it over him, but you know, you really don't have anything there. So it's kind of hard to explain, but basically wherever Blazers is, that's always going to be the more difficult turn attempt. But if you go like this from where I'm at, and then you come in like this, it's a much easier. It's just always better if you have the ability to always move off to the side and then come back in, you know, and cut in towards them. Like this. So he does end up cutting in here, goes for a little cheeky touch with the air in the air. There you go, pretty good. But then he just kind of keeps boosting more and more and more. He's really just going all in. You know, he's going all in, using all his boosts, and all for what? Doesn't get anything going with that. With a 100 boost play, he doesn't really do anything. In my opinion, again, it's just one of those scenarios where, like, maybe here, once you get that first touch, you can just calm down, just go for the landing, and then just preserve your boost. Your 50 boost from here, from the floor, is going to be a lot better than 50 boost for one little tiny touch in the air that doesn't go anywhere. Like, it's really bad. This is why, when you can, just stay low to the ground and once. When you have boost and you have ground control right on the ground, that's when you're the most dangerous. But when you're in the air with bad touches, and even if you have full boost, doesn't do anything. So I'd much rather you have full boost on the ground like this than with, you know, 2,000 boost in the air, and this is all you can do, right? So just preserve your boost and try and stay grounded. That's my tip. So we're gonna move here again. Blazer gets the full boost, right? And as soon as he gets it, you know, I mean, he gets, yeah, one good touch, and then he's just ripping that boost. He's ripping it, and then all for what? You know, I mean, even if he didn't get demoed there, like, even if he didn't get demoed, he would have had no boost. So I still am seeing, like, in this rank, you know, some better opportunities to preserve their boost. Just something to keep in mind. If you're running out of boost, or you feel like you're slow at the game, then that's probably why. It's just you're not managing your boost very well. Okay, I want to go back here again. Gets demoed. That's fine. Now you're gonna look again. He's gonna push on the same side of Derek's push lane. So Derek's push lane is moving from here down to over this corner, right? That's his whole push lane. So we look back at Blazers again. He's pushing into Derek's push lane like this, right? And then he gets a bad touch. Now we're having that same problem again, where he's like on the ball. It's kind of awkward. There's literally no good turns he can make. Absolutely none. He just has to take these super awkward cuts, and it's panicking. It's just all bad. In my opinion, you should just let Derek's have the ball here. Don't, like, push him here too early. You know, let him do the cuxer pinch. Let him do it, and then just come in and rotate like this. Push in like a fake or something, and then turn back in this side. So he's gonna do the pinch. You're coming in down this way, and then you slide back in. See that? It's so much easier when you're not on the same exact side as your opponent who's pushing down to the same side as you. It's so much easier if you let them push on the side opposite of you, and then you come in from the side and then cut in like this. See that? Much better. So that's how we're gonna avoid all of this. Oh, double jump. Oh, I got the ball. Oof. Oh my god, oh, I gotta jump again. Oh, is he gonna challenge me? It's ridiculous. Anyway, so Blazers has collected the ball, finally. Derek's doesn't do anything. He lets him have the ball. Good. Does a good job staying behind the ball. Nice and slow. Good. Good control. Now here, he just waited too long to cut. So this is something you can obviously work on in free play or wherever. But once you have just a little bit of control behind the ball, right? You want to create that little bit of space between you and the ball, and then you should be aiming for right about here on the bottom left corner. This is where you should be aiming to shoot. So if you're playing as Blazers and you're trying to score this, right? Wait as long as you need to, you know, because Derek's here is giving you tons of space to push his goal line, right? So Derek's from this position is not going to move from his goal line. He's just going to be stuck there. So what you can do is push into his goal line as much as Derek's will let you. Push into the goal line, push, and then during the last minute, find a moment to cut and flip the ball really quickly down to the bottom left corner here. If you beam this bottom left, it's going to outspeed past Derek's. Derek's isn't going to be able to catch with the ball. This is about where you should be aiming if you're trying to score the ball in this fashion, right? If you're going to cut it like this, then you want to really speed it up way past him down this back corner here. That's where you want to get it. So Blazers almost does what I said, but his technique isn't quite there. He waits too long here. I would have, if I was him, I was going to cut the ball, I would have done it right about there. This is about where I would have done it. I would have got to here, and then I would have slotted that ball bottom left. That's what I would have done. But here, he waits too long, doesn't really give himself a good angle to shoot from, and does a poor misplay. All right, so Blazers has messed up his attempt here, but he's gonna go back in the ball, push in on it, gets the opponent's boost, which is good, not bad. But here he gets a really awkward catch. He's trying a little bit too hard. So all I'm gonna say for Blazers here is before you do anything, just always make sure that you're always covering behind you. I'll say this a lot in every video, but always cover behind you, because if you don't cover behind you, like in this instance right here, this is a free ball for your opponent. Your opponent could easily push this downfield and get a free open. Here, I'm just showing you that Blazer, when he pushes this corner up here and gets a poor catch, he's not doing a good job covering behind him, right? So in my opinion, Derek's here, if he was quick, he could easily push that past Blazers, and then there'd be a free open net, right? So it's just something to think about. 1v1 is always make sure that you're covering behind you, because if you don't, you're leaving your net open, and you could get punished for that. So he tries to catch the ball, pushes in, stays on it. Okay, still a little bit ball chasey, that's fine. Does it again. We can probably still get away with this because he still has some boost. Okay. Uses it all. Not good. Pushing the same exact side that I told him not to. He's in the same push lane as his opponent right now, so this is a bad position to be in. And now he's stuck in his goal line. There gets a nice musty. Wow, good job. So it's not to say that the continual diving of this ball doesn't mean it's a bad thing. Can you keep diving the ball? Sure, you can. But how many dives can you put in before you completely leave your net open, right? So yeah, he dives, goes again. But at some point, if nothing's working, he's gonna just end up burning his boost and then be put in a bad position. So that ends up being the case. He can't get anything going. Derek just gets a free setup. And by this point, Derek has full control of the ball. There's really not much you can do besides work on your positioning here. So if we're looking at Derek's here, once he's gone this straightaway, right here with the boost, there's nothing you can do. He literally has full control of the ball, and you will never catch up to him. So the only thing you can do, once Derek gets a straightaway towards his side, we both know that he's going to go for his sidewall. The worst thing you can do is chase them into the sidewall that they have advantage on, right? That's the worst thing you can do. This is a big no-no. So what you should be doing here is be like, you need to accept the fact that you've lost that ball. You have given Derek's full control of the ball. You need to accept this. So once you get to this point, you're like, you realize you choked, you messed up. Derek has the ball now. You know, don't make it worse by chasing him into his side. Okay, don't do that. Don't chase him. What you're gonna do is you're gonna split off from Derek's. Don't chase him, split off. And then once you split off from Derek's, you're gonna move here, pick up the pad. So pad here, you know, lots of pads down this way. And then you're gonna time your 50. You see his air dribble, you're pushing down this side, right? Opposite from Derek's. Good. And then you find a time where he's awkward, like just after he's gotten his flip reset and he gets a bad recovery. Like any time that you can find good time to challenge him. So maybe right when he gets that reset, he's a little bit awkward. This would be the right time to challenge him, is right here, right? But I'm just gonna let you guys know, if you try and challenge when you're on the same push lane as him, so the same side as him, you're going to fail every time. Like almost guaranteed, you're gonna fail. But if you do what I said, come down the middle, maybe a little bit off to the left a bit, get some pads like this, and then you cut in across this way towards him, you're gonna have a much better chance of winning that ball and getting out of this situation. So again, that is why I was saying don't chase them, don't push on the same side as them, because you're just never gonna get out of it. Never gonna get out of that clean. They're always gonna win that scenario. All right, next kickoff for Blazers. So he's gonna do the same kickoff he's been doing. Still good. He's really getting beat really badly on these flip kickoffs. Like, he's doing the flip kickoffs, but they're really not working out for him. Like, again, Derek's just wins ball and boost. See that? So Derek's wins the boost, and he wins the ball. Okay, sort of, but you get what I'm saying. Like, he had the boost and ball at the same time. So, in my opinion, if your flip kickoffs aren't working, like, no matter what you do, no matter how much you adapt or anything, then the key here is to start doing single jump kickoffs. Like, maybe not the answer you want to hear, but that is the answer. I don't know how to tell it to you guys, but basically, flip kickoffs are bad. Sometimes. They're not always bad, but a good chunk of the time, they're just not meta. That might just be my opinion, that might just be my bias, but to me, flip kickoffs don't give you a great recovery, especially if your opponent has a good kickoff, and they're doing every other type of kickoff and are watching you, they're going to counter you. They're doing a good job here countering your front flip here, and because they're countering it well, they're adapting well, they're doing a kickoff that works better than yours, then they're just winning the ball and the boost. His kickoff is just better in the fact that he can recover and pick up the boost and the ball. So if he wins boost and ball, then his kickoff is better. And I'm just saying, if this keeps happening, where you do the front flip kickoff and then you're super slow to recover, and then they get the boost and the ball, and then you're stuck on defense, and it just keeps happening over and over again, then you need to start incorporating some single jump kickoffs, because that's going to give you a much better chance of getting the ball in your favor. And even if the ball's not in your favor, you'll at least get a better recovery. All right, so Blazers is pushing into Derek's here. Really not much he can do there other than pick up some pads. So he's going to repeat the same sin I just talked about. He's got a free touch on the sidewall and boost. This is a recipe for disaster. He's going to get a setup. He's going to get a ceiling shot. He's going to get a musty. He's going to get a flip reset musty. Ceiling shot musty double tap. It doesn't matter. Derek's can do all that stuff in theory, right? This is all the stuff he can do. He can do a million things once he has this setup right here. So he gets the straightaway and he shoots for a sidewall. Nothing you can do. You're never going to beat him to it. What you need to do is adapt. Don't push into him. Don't do this. This is your mistake. Stop doing this. Please. You're literally just throwing. You're putting yourself in the worst position possible. You're on the same push lane as him, and he's just going to get a free reset setup. And the only reason you're going to get a goal out of this is because he messed up his attempt. At the end of the day, Derek's is still going for some kind of risky. Like, this can be risky if he doesn't know what he's doing. If he messes up, then yeah, you're probably going to get a free goal out of it. But most of the time, you're going to lose in this situation. Don't push into him. Just don't. Just go to the other side. Go over here. Go to the left side, right here. Bang, and then challenge like this, okay? That's all you can do. All right, so Derek's messes up his air dribble flip reset attempt. Blazers gets a good touch down to himself on the floor. Really good. Good boost pickup. Good patience. Really good. Good first touch. He's able to take advantage of Derek's being stuck on the goal line here. So Derek's makes a mistake of going all the way to his goal line. So that means that Blazers going to have a lot of space to work with here. Good patience. Shoots far post. Perfect. Honestly, I couldn't have played that any better. So in his case, this is like what you should do. If you have the opportunity, you should always try, when you can, you should always try and shoot to the farthest side of the goal that the blue team here can't reach. Because if you shoot bottom right, that's where Derek's is, and he's probably going to save that. But if you wait and you time a good shot with some good power on the opposite side of the goal, right here, then the chances of him getting that's pretty low. So great shot there, good patience, good dribble skills. All right, next kickoff for Blazers. This one worked out a little bit better. He kind of followed my advice a bit more about picking a side and then flipping to the opposite side. He's more on the left side of the ball here, and then he flips more to the right side of the ball. Left side of the ball and then flip to the right. Now he doesn't win the boost, but this is definitely like more in his favor, and this could have been a shot, right here. Could have been. This is much better because if you can pick the one side, flip into it, the chances of you having advantage or getting on their side is a lot better. But when you go for just straight flip in the middle, it's really not that good. The shot's just slow, you know? So unless he plays this around him like perfectly, then he's gonna have no boost. So this is where the risk comes in, is like, okay, yes, he wins the kickoff, but he's being really aggressive, you know, wastes his boost again. I know, super small stuff here, but look, right here, he uses boost, right there. Okay, why? I don't know, guys. You just need to preserve your boost. He could have used the 12 boost. It would have been useful. Here you go. Does a kickoff, he wins it, which is good. Burns his boost, shouldn't have done that. And then now he's playing underneath the ball. Like, he needs to be more patient here, right? He needs to be a little bit further back, maybe around here, so that when the ball bounces in front of him, he can actually take a good shot. But now because he's underneath the ball, like here, so boom, 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 pushes too far, and now he's underneath the ball, straight underneath it. That's really bad. But if he's back here, around this point, he could take a much better shot, right? Be able to aim it better, just have a better approach. But he wastes his boost, he puts himself in a bad spot under the ball, and then he takes a poor shot with no boost. Poor shot, easy save for Derek's. Derek's just gets a free straightaway. Blues should have scored a goal there, but whatever. Right here, this was a good example of, I'm gonna call it air dribble discipline. He's disciplining himself not to go for aerial play here. Most people that I see would want to do like an air dribble from this point in the game. They'd be like, oh, it's rolling up the wall, I've got boost, I should do an air dribble, right? Most people would do that. But here, he plays it really smart. He doesn't take the risky, you know, touch, because he knows he's not gonna get a good first touch here. You know, softens the touch, plays it down to himself, and then keeps it close. That's the best thing to do. He could have gone for an air dribble there, but that would have been risky. But this is a lot more safe, a lot more, he can control the ball much better. I don't know what kind of fake that was, Derek's, but that was god awful. So Derek's goes for a really poor fake, really bad timing. And then Blazers does get a free open here, which is good. Good. See? Push the ball past him. Leaves his net open. Good punish. Alright, so here, Derek has the ball. Blazers kind of shadow defending here, which is good, but I really don't like how much he's flicking his ball cam on and off. Like, I mean, it can work. Like, the ball cam thing isn't a big deal. When you flick off your camera during a crucial moment in the game where the blue team can flick, that's really bad, because all you guys look here is, I'm going to slow it down a bit. So right here, Derek's could flick, but then he goes ahead and turns his camera off right when he could flick the ball. That's really bad. You don't want to do that. Whenever you're shadowing, always pay attention to your opponent. Make sure that you have eyes on them. When you know that they could get a flick downfield, when you know that they could potentially start a flick, you know, don't turn your ball cam off, because if you turn the ball cam off at that crucial moment where they could have flicked you, then it's going to go over your head and you're not even going to know what happened. So he's flicking his camera off right as he's about to flick the ball. So that makes it really awkward for him to save. So he does end up saving it. Good job. It's like a small thing with shadowing. You know, just try and keep your eyes on your opponent as much as you can, because if you don't and you stop paying attention, you might not be able to save it. All right, so Blazers is on his half. Derek's has some boosts. He's taking it back to his side. All good. Gets a free boost here. Nice. Probably pushing a little bit much, but whatever. It doesn't matter. So here, this should be a goal. I literally don't care what anyone says. This is a goal every single time. But Blazers here, he is taking way too long to think about this. In fact, he goes for a bump. So once Derek throws this ball and he misses it like that, you should be shooting this. You need to be up for this. You need to be shooting that. If you're not comfortable shooting those, then you need to do some training packs with those types of shots in them. Because if you're not hitting these, then you're literally losing on a free goals. Because here, Derek completely leaves the ball open for you. He's not challenging it. The ball's up in the air. You literally have an open net. That's all I'm going to say. Is it's open. You should be up for this. You should be able to shoot that down net. If you're not able to do that, then you need to work on that, because this is a clearly free goal and he's just completely missing a free opportunity here. So this is just a complete misplay in my opinion. Should be up for that already. Should be shooting that. But here he goes for demo, and then he loses whatever shot opportunity he had. I mean, shoot, he could have shot right there again. Right about here. Right here. He could shoot that again. But he just doesn't. He just doesn't shoot it. He just waits, sits on the ball, and then nothing happens. He just gets beat. And now his net's probably open. Okay, well, it was basically in. Looking Mega Blazers again, so he's pushing down on Derek's side. Picks up the boost, all good. Derek's has ball position here. He wants to go for a little bit of a cheeky air dribble. Does a pre-flip, really good. Now right about here, this is where Blazers should have challenged. Like, if I'm just being honest, this is where he should have challenged, but he waited again too long. So here, I'll give him a pass for being on the same side as the opponent. Now would I prefer it? Still no. I'd rather he still be like opposite side of Derek's here, but he's not. Even so, should still be able to get out of this fine. So here, Derek gets the air dribble. And then right on that last touch, right about here towards the floor, that's when he should be challenging the ball. But he just keeps going back. Doesn't challenge, doesn't find a good angle to go on the ball here, and the ball just keeps bouncing. It just keeps bouncing. He keeps going back towards his goal line, and then he just gets bumped. Right? Nothing you can do. If you're going to be on the same side as your opponent, as their air dribble or flick or whatever, you need to find a time where they're awkward, like right about here, when they don't have anything to threaten you with. Because if you don't challenge here, you're just giving them free ball and free push, right? And when you do that, this is what happens. You play too passive, you get bumped, right? Even though right about here, there was a very clear opportunity here for you to turn, challenge, and collect the ball. But because you missed that opportunity and you gave them free touches and free ball bounces, right? Then you're setting yourself you set yourself up for failure. All right, we're doing the next kickoff for Blazers. So Blazers goes, he gets faked again. So that's nothing new. Picks up the boost, all good, nice. Not bad challenge, but again, you should probably, again, same tip where I said before, always make sure you're covering behind you whenever you can, but it's good. He's got boosts. He can work with this. He should have got the goal there, but I guess he was too slow again. I think right here, when Blazer starts bumping, I think he had a goal opportunity, but he just had such a bad catch right here that he ended up losing it. So I think the bumps were really good. I think if he just got a slightly better catch and got a catch that, you know, pushed more towards the net a bit quicker, then he probably could have had a goal here, but he ended up losing the opportunity because he ended up pushing the ball too slowly. Next kickoff for Blazers. Guess what happens? He gets faked for the 15th time. This is what I mean, guys. Like, if you can just adapt to your opponents and you know that they fake a lot, then change it up, because all you've done for 4 minutes here is just give him free balls, because you can't read the fact that he's faked you 16 times. So I don't know if you want to call not getting faked a skill, but like, you just need to know, like, he's faked you a lot, so you should probably be reading the fake. Like, it's not that hard, guys. Awkward, but I think he gets a goal here. Nice. Alright guys, last kickoff to wrap up the game. Blazers gets a really poor kickoff. He kind of jumps a bit late. Probably was an accident, but anyways, so not the best kickoff. Does a good job staying close to the ball. Gets the boost. Good challenge here. Pushes the ball. Not able to quite reach it. Go ahead, take their boost. He should have got scored on there, but Derek's missed. Does he get ball position? He does. Good push from Blazer there, trying to keep the ball close. And just really poor challenge there. Derek gets a free flip reset. Nice. Alright you guys, that'll be about it for today's video. If you guys found this to be educational or helpful in any way, let me know down in the comments. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the Champ 2 1v1 game. See ya.